Let's be honest, nothing boosts confidence quite like great hair. But if you're seeing more strands in the shower, your confidence might not be at its highest. And that's why you need Hers Hair. Hers Hair treatments are made with doctor-trusted prescription ingredients that many other hair products out there just don't have. They come in a variety of options, including oral and topical solutions, so you can find the one that works for you. And they even have options with added hair vitamins and supplements for extra support. Getting started is simple with a quick online hair quiz. Just answer some questions and you will be connected with a provider to discuss your personalized treatment plan. And through Hers, everything is 100% online. So no pharmacy trips, doctor's office visits, or insurance required. Plus, treatments start at just $35 a month. Start your initial free online visit today at forhers.com/KKC. That's forhers.com/KKC for your personalized hair loss treatment options. forhers.com/KKC. Individual results may vary. Compounded products are not FDA approved or verified for safety, effectiveness, or quality. Prescription required. Price varies based on product and subscription plan. See website for full details, restrictions, and important safety information. As the temperature starts rising, I feel that familiar urge to refresh my closet, but I'm not wasting money on pieces that I'll only wear once or for just one season. Quince changes that. Their clothes are timeless, lightweight, and far more elevated than anything else at this price. It finally feels like my wardrobe matches my standards. Like 100% European linen shorts and dresses from $30, luxe swimwear, Italian leather platform sandals, and so much more. The best part? Everything with Quince is half the cost of similar brands. By working directly with top artisans and cutting out the middlemen, Quince gives you luxury, but without the markup. And Quince only works with factories that use safe, ethical, and responsible manufacturing practices and premium fabrics and finishes. For example, my favorite thing to get right now, 100% organic cotton cropped cardigan. Get it in vintage rose. Give your summer closet an upgrade with Quince. Go to quince.com/KKC for free shipping on your order and 365-day returns. That's QUINCE.com/KKC to get free shipping and 365-day returns. Quince.com/KKC.
The amazing Kate Casey.
Welcome back for another episode of Reality Life with Kate Casey. Hope that you are having a great week. I've got a great episode for you. Today, my guest is Sarah Fraser. She is host of the Sarah Fraser Show, and we talk about a lot of great topics. Sister Wives, what the hell's really going on behind the scenes of that show? A little bit about Real Housewives, the Chrisleys, very interesting conversation about that. A true crime case that occurred in DC that we were both obsessed with. And then at the top of the episode, we start talking about the John Edwards scandal. And I'm wondering if a lot of you can remember this. So this was a scandal surrounding a former U.S. Senator by the name of John Edwards, who was the Democratic vice presidential nominee in 2004 and a presidential candidate in 2008. So he had an affair with this woman by the name of Real Hunter. She had been working on the presidential campaign as a campaign videographer. Now, this was while his wife, Elizabeth, was battling cancer. Apparently, that affair began in 2006 during the presidential campaign. Well, it was revealed in 2008 that Real had given birth to a daughter. And there were pictures in the National Enquirer that really blew open this case. So Edwards initially denied paternity. And that was even as his former aide, Andrew Young, falsely claimed that he was the father to protect John Edwards. The crazy things that people will do for the candidate. Well, John was accused of using nearly $1 million in campaign donations from wealthy donors, not reported as campaign contributions, to support and hide Real during that affair and, of course, the pregnancy as well. So that sparked a federal investigation into whether campaign finance laws were violated. Well, he was indicted on 6 felony charges, including conspiracy and illegal campaign contributions. In 2012, his trial ended in an acquittal on one count and a mistrial on the others, and the Justice Department chose not to retry him. So he had this once very promising political career. It was completely derailed. Personal reputation suffered, of course. Elizabeth Edwards separated from him before her death in 2010. Heartbreaking. She is someone I greatly admired, and it is often cited as one of the most notorious political sex scandals in modern U.S. history. The fact that they haven't done a documentary on this thus far is surprising to me, but I assume that the people involved have probably also derailed it, probably did everything they can to ensure that it doesn't come out. But a fascinating story. And then at the end of the episode, Sarah talks about her fertility journey. And I know a lot of you have been following it as well. I think you're going to love this episode. So excited for you to listen to it. As always, make sure that you are subscribed to this podcast. Join the Facebook group, Reality Life with Kate Casey. Get that what to watch list at katecasey.substack.com to listen to what to watch and to read what to watch in Unscripted TV every week. Here is my interview with Sarah. Even before we start recording, we're like talking about all these different scandals through time. We were just laughing about John Edwards, because I said Elizabeth Edwards was one of the greatest writers of all time. If anybody ever loses someone in their life, if you want to read a great book about grief, read Elizabeth Edwards' book called Saving Graces. And she talks about the death of her son. One of the best books ever.
Really?
So
how
good.
Old, you brought me back because how old was their son? No, wait, was it a son with John?
Okay, so she and John had 2 kids. They had a girl and they had a son named Wyatt. And Wyatt was 16 in like a geo tracker. And the car was on a highway in like North Carolina. And those geo trackers, I had one of my best friends from childhood was also in a car accident, one of those cars. They were just not very heavy. And it kind of blew over. And I think everybody else in the car survived with the exception of her son. So the book is really about how she dealt with grief after he died. One thing she said is that people who lose someone, people often think that you're respecting someone by not talking about the person that died. And that's actually the worst thing you can do. Ask them questions. And I think about that all the time. When I meet somebody and they tell me that someone's passed, I always ask questions like, tell me about them. And then the other thing that I remember from that book is she said, since he would have been like a junior or a senior that following year, she went to his grave every day and would read the reading list that they had at the school for that year. And that they, as a couple, as parents to these kids, they never wanted those kids to feel like they should not talk to them about their son anymore. So they kept having his friends over all the time after their son died. And I always thought that was really interesting too.
Okay, I'm going to start crying at the beginning of your podcast.
But she had such an interesting life. She was really like such the brains behind that operation. And then he screwed her over by having the affair with the weird videographer on the campaign. Then they had the child, the National Choir, and caught the picture and the whole thing.
I mean, and remember, you and I were just talking about this. I mean, he was like on track to be a presidential candidate.
100%.
Remember? He was like because I was asking you what happened to John Edwards. He was in the tabloids for so many years after that Rael Hunter affair and child, and the political career went south. I mean, and she really was unbelievable. And what she had to go out through in her life.
Outrageous
How she found the strength to keep going. Oh my God, that's a story. Yeah.
Doozy. Okay, the first thing I've talked to you about is you are so up in Sister Wives stuff. I got to tell you, I kind of like lost my interest for a little while. And now I'm like, is there any hope for that show?
I don't think there's any hope, but I'm so into is, speaking of tabloid fodder, their real lives over the past 2 years, I have found to be so fascinating. All true, by the way, that all seems to be like getting out there. And I find those storylines the most interesting. Well, first of all the women have left him, but Robin. Mary dated a guy briefly, and then the internet found out so much about him, blew up his life so much. She dumped him, now is like dating in secret. Christine is suing Cody for back child support of Truly and child custody agreement. Cody and Robin sold the famous McMansion that we've seen for years in the show, bought a even more expensive $2.2 million mansion in Flagstaff. Coyote Pass is gone. Okay, see, I know too much of this.
We think that they're hoarders, right? Robin is definitely a hoarder?
Yes. She and Cody, I mean, I guess that's what do you call extreme collectors? Probably
hoarders.
Hoarders.
Yeah.
Okay, hoarders. Because the other thing that's come out that is true is she has I don't know if the value of it is accurate, but she collects dolls. Robin does. So there's now...
I'm already concerned.
There was she had a public Etsy page where she was posting about outfits, clothes, American Girl dolls. She would buy the custom outfits. Then
for a doll.
for a doll.
And she's how old?
How old would Robin be? Is Robin 50?
Well, she's not 12. So or even 8. So anything above that is disturbing. She's spending their hard-earned money from the show on custom outfits for a doll.
Yeah, a lot of them. She actually went, then she made the Etsy page private because there was so much fodder online. And then people were tallying up. Like they would go back and find, the seller of these outfits, and the outfits would be like $250.
Oh, you've got to be kidding me.
No. And then people had totaled that she had spent $62,000 in dolls. I don't know if that's accurate, but I know she has a doll collection because McKelty, who of course is Christine and Cody's daughter, has confirmed it. Like went on her Patreon and was like, yeah, Robin loves dolls, has collected them for a long time.
$62,000 is quite specific.
I know. So I'm not sure if that's really the truth.
Wow. Okay. A couple questions. Do we think that Robin still is in love with Cody?
Oh, that's a good one.
Or is she been using this fool to get some doll money?
Well, I think she loves the money. 100%.
Yeah. Does she love the money more than she loves him?
That's a really great question. I've thought that she did, but you know what's so fascinating about that show over and over is she says all the time she would do polygamy again. Like she would love a guarantee. And if Cody were down, she would do polygamy again. So, I have to think if she keeps bringing it up, there's a part of her that's not fully happy with just him.
Yeah, you're right. Mm-hmm.
People question everything that Robin and Cody say, right? So, and nobody really believes them. So, is she saying that to kind of always tease the audience? Like, ooh, maybe there's a whole nother 10 seasons here because we'll find another wife. Is she that smart? Or is she like, did she love polygamy?
I feel like she likes polygamy because she likes the idea of it now because she likes more money. She doesn't want to work hard. She's lazy, and Lord knows he is. He's sitting in his car half the day. So I think she thinks if we bring in another wife, we get more TV opportunities, and also we can get some of that paycheck. And she's also lazy. Like she can throw the responsibilities to the next wife. Like, can you take so and so to camp?
Everything, yeah. And nothing would ensure 5 more seasons. I have to imagine TLC, and producers.
They're like auditioning people. Will you pretend that you're interested in these losers?
I think that they would love if Cody and Robin came to them and said, "Okay, we're going to explore polygamy one more time." I think they would be like freaking out.
By the way, why haven't they done that? First of all, that would mean that Robin has more control than we think, because I think he has been pretty vocal that he's like super into Robin and like is all about her. So does that mean she's the one who's putting the smackdown on the opportunity to even interview potential candidates?
I think it's him. I think he doesn't. I think, look, I hear mixed things behind the scenes. I've heard for a long time production really likes him, and he does have say in some of the things that happen on that show. And they are 19 seasons in.
Yeah.
So, look, is that show going to continue even if they don't do polygamy? Are they going to ride that till the wheels come off? So, because it's still probably the highest watched TLC show. So, he might not even have to get another wife or even pretend to get 3 more seasons. Season 20 has already been filmed.
Oh, God. But like nothing happens. So they've kind of lost me for a little bit,
Oh, if you picked it up today, you would, and watched the recap at the beginning, you would be completely caught up. No, it is.
It's like a soap opera.
Oh, completely. It's like watching paint dry. It's just, I have found, and I'm with you. I started watching, I'm a late bloomer to that, actually. I started watching probably 4 years ago and got caught up and watched like back seasons and didn't realize it had such a cult following. And then to me, the seasons, oh my God, 14, 15. Maybe the catfishing thing was interesting for a minute, but see, I found it to be the most interesting the past 3 when they were all leaving him.
Absolutely. And the first season, because you're just like, what is this craziness? Like these poor women stuck in the middle of nowhere. Yeah, that was awful.
And then when you watch back now, the first season or two, like every once in a while, I'll go back and watch an episode. I mean, hindsight's 2020, right? But it's so obvious to me that he is all about Robin, madly in love with Robin. And I don't know. I mean, he seemed into those other women, at first, but you can see there was, I think, a stronger connection with Robin for sure.
I also think, he's no different than anybody who's on Love Island. Like once he got a taste of fame, he's like, okay, turns out I'm like super hot and cool. Like this is running through his own head. And so, of course, I need a younger wife. And why would I stay with these old ladies? Like I'm a big star now. I got it going on.
100%. Yeah. I mean, he makes hundreds of dollars from his cameos. Yeah. I mean, they're doing great.
Another question. There were rumors that Robin did something to piss the whole entire family off at the funeral. What was it?
Okay, well, this is actually, there's just a big update about this, by the way. Okay, McKelty's the one that dropped this on her Patreon. Alluded to something that happened at the funeral. Then a couple of months ago, we had all heard that what happened was to the military funeral, because there were a couple different memorials for Garrison. The one you saw on TV, family all agreed to film. Everybody was there, right? There was a military one done in Nevada by the National Guard. The rumor was that Cody and Robin showed up uninvited with the camera crew to film for season 20. Mary, just last night on TikTok, after season 19 has ended, went on TikTok live. Somebody asked her that and she actually answered. And she was very defensive about it. And she said it's completely not true. They were invited to their son's funeral. They never showed up with the camera crew. And that rumor really drives her crazy. And even though she doesn't speak to them, she will defend them. And that is not true. So that leaves us with, we don't know.
Yeah. Will we ever know? Maybe Christine's book. Maybe she'll put it in there.
I don't think we're going to get one. I'm actually more irritated with the book than I am with the ongoing seasons, because what are we going to get in that damn book? She wrote it while she was suing Cody for back child support with Truly. And so she's not going to trash him in the book.
Right. Yeah.
From what I've heard and read in just the little forward, it's like all going to be about the AUB, their religion and polygamy and
how to make chicken parmesan.
And how to make,
Great.
I don't think we're going to get, I don't think we're going to get a lot.
How about I interviewed Janelle, and after 19 seasons, she didn't know how important it was for a podcast interview to be in a quiet place. I literally think she did it from a cubicle in an office building somewhere in Utah. And there are like people in the background. She barely answered anything. I was like, 19 years and you still don't know how to do an interview correctly.
I listened to that and I felt for you because she really didn't give you anything. So generic. It defended Cody and Robin. It was like, Cody's kind of a bad guy. No, you were absolutely right. That was such a frustrating interview. I'm sure for you, as like, you've interviewed so many amazing people, that had to be.
Yeah, I was like, what a waste of my time.
Up? Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I know. You know what doesn't belong in your epic summer plans? Getting burned by your old wireless bill. Where you're planning beach trips, barbecues, and 3-day weekends, your wireless bill should be the last thing holding you back, and that's why so many are switching to Mint Mobile. With plans starting at $15 a month, Mint Mobile gives you premium wireless service on the nation's largest 5G network. The coverage and speed that you're used to, but way less money. So while your friends are sweating over data overages and surprise charges, you're going to be chilling, literally and financially. Use your own phone with any Mint Mobile plan and bring your phone number along with all of your existing contacts. Think about how much you're going to be saving with Mint Mobile. With all these kids in my house, I'm looking at different phone options, and this is a steal. This year, skip breaking a sweat and breaking the bank. Get your summer savings and shop premium wireless plans at mintmobile.com/realitylife. That's mintmobile.com/realitylife. Upfront payment of $45 for 3-month 5GB plan required, equivalent to $15 a month. New customer offer for first 3 months only, then full price plan options available. Taxes and fees extra. See Mint Mobile for details. Isn't it so nice to escape to a place that truly feels like yours? I was planning to update my backyard, and there's just something about a beautiful outdoor space that's so satisfying. It's like your own backyard oasis. Wayfair's got everything you need to level up your outdoor space. They have patio sets and lounge chairs, outdoor bars and hot tubs, fire pits, gazebos, and of course, string lights. It's so easy to have a one-stop where you can make over your entire space with a resort feel without that resort price tag. I looked at patio chairs and lights, and it felt like they had every color and style. And then I placed my order, and it came back so quickly, much faster than I would have expected. So now, here I am, with patio furniture that is so relaxing in my little oasis. No more huge delivery fees for patio furniture. You can get big stuff and more shipped for free. So don't wait. Make your outdoor space your dream oasis today with Wayfair, and you can enjoy it all summer long. Head to wayfair.com right now to shop a huge outdoor selection. That's WAYFAIR.com. Wayfair, every style, every home. Actually, I have to say now to your point earlier that they really liked Cody. People are astounded when I tell you this, or anybody this, but he was actually charming when I interviewed him.
I don't even think I knew this. When did you interview him?
Like years ago. And he answered everything. And I mean, was he being completely honest? I'm sure he wasn't, but at least he was charming and understood, get some headphones and go in a quiet spot.
Okay, I got to go back and listen to that. I'm going to do a whole podcast episode with him because he hasn't done any interview. I mean, he did one about a year ago on a religious YouTube channel, but he hasn't done a lot of interviews. That's a rare guest.
Yeah, once in a while. You never know.
You never know, right?
You beg for years and then they give you a little breadcrumbs and then you're all excited and then Janelle's reporting live from Cubicle. I was like, do you work somewhere with cubicles? Are you like an accountant for Ancestry.com? What is happening here?
I love when you said that, God. Isn't that such inside baseball too? It's like we beg these networks for years. How many years? I've been emailing and working with TLC, 5 years? Yeah. I think they finally threw me Mary last year. You're just so right.
It's like, please, sir, may I have more? All right. Another interview that you did, I want to talk to you about is the Chrisleys one. Tell everybody about that one. That is interesting.
That was a really good one. Alexis Wilby, who was Todd and Julie's former daughter-in-law. So if you recall, Chloe's dad, so they had this little girl, Chloe, right, that they adopted. That's really their grandchild, but they've brought her into the fold and they almost kind of they treat her like she's their daughter. It's
Todd's son from his first marriage, and they always had a really awkward relationship, especially his older children with Todd. And this son has had his own addiction issues. So he had a baby with Alexis.
No, another woman. So Alexis's daughter, I know. It's a very it's a whole thing. He ended up marrying Alexis and they were married for a little over a year. But no, the baby, Chloe, is from another woman.
Roger that.
Because a lot of people come for Alexis and she was saying this, saying, why don't you have custody of your daughter? And she's like, guys, I was married to their son, but he had a daughter. Chloe is not my daughter.
Important to note. Thank you.
So she was married to him and she just gave this really open interview about Todd and Julie and says Todd is basically the narcissist controlling. She was not shocked at all that he was under investigation. And I think she's, she just says that Todd, if you are on his bad side, makes your life hell.
Wow. She
was thrilled that he was in jail. I've not spoken to her since he's been released because he even sued her at one point for, she was doing interviews. She was talking about how toxic he was, how she's always felt that Julie just never was strong enough to get away from him. And that he was a type of person that, once he had his hooks in you, there was just no leaving. She was never going to be able to leave.
What was her, what did she surmise of Julie's personality and what she actually wants to do and be like in life? Would she like to leave him and live somewhere else in the country? What are the inner workings of their relationship?
Alexis kind of said she just thinks that Julie's gotten so caught up in this. And what's hard is Julie's parents are really sweet people and they were never like this. They were really honest people, really law abiding. So I think, she really painted Julie to be just didn't have the strength to stand up for Todd. Do you know what I mean? I'm not sure that she even has an identity without Todd.
So codependent.
Very codependent. The way Alexis talked about Todd, he controlled all the money for Julie, everything Julie was going to do, of course, got Julie to co-sign on things. So then now we've seen this play out how many times, Teresa?
So a little bit Joe and Teresa in that respect.
Very much. Very much. Yeah. Yeah.
Do you think that the kids really understand the complexities of these lawsuits?
Savannah, you mean, and
Chase?
That's a great question. I guess what's
so hard when it's your parents.
I know.
You're in a no-win situation.
No, and look at how Lindsay has come in and out of the fold, right? I mean, Alexis talked about that. Like Lindsay, tried to get away from them. And at first she cooperated, I believe. Go back and double check, man. I want to make sure I'm accurate with that. But I think there was a moment where she was getting ready to cooperate and then she didn't. So, I think Alexis just basically talked about Todd's just a person that will make your life hell. Like if you don't go along with him. And the younger kids, I think she kind of painted it like they just never even thought about doing anything different.
Yeah, than just being on TV.
Wanted. Yeah.
What about her relationship with the son? Why? It was short-lived?
His addiction. He was always using when they were together. I don't know what his status is now. I don't know if he's sober or not because they've been divorced for several years. But addiction was a big thing. And she said Todd and Julie were always in their marriage, always. Like it was, Todd needed him to do things for the business or, if they wouldn't do things for the business, they were cut off. Todd and Julie wouldn't speak to them, wouldn't have anything to do with them.
Wow.
Yeah.
Reality TV totally changed them completely or changed them made it worse?
No, she said just heightened everything that he was about. Yeah. She said he was completely like that before that they were famous.
Wow. Well, remember when the show started years ago, the first season, they were saying that they were going to start a department store in Georgia. I thought it was like, that is a massive amount of money to be like competing with like Nordstrom. Like, wow. And then that kind of like just kind of floated away and then it became something else.
Yeah, she talks about, Alexis gives a really great timeline, because we know this anyway, but they were being investigated years ago. Like she remembers, the FBI investigated them and then didn't pursue it. But she remembers, I think, the son being called in by, I don't remember if it was IRS, but like she had said, like for years, they were always snooping around, like what Todd and Julie were up to, interviews or police calling, or they were launching an investigation. She gives a really good timeline, but I mean, well over a decade.
Well, I mean, this is why they're on TV and why they're successful, because it's like fascinating, horrifying, all those things in one. You're like, wait, what?
And I could never live like that. I could never be falsifying documents. Teresa Giudice lying. By the way, I loved you on Hollywood Demons. That was so good. You did such a great job. And that was
thank you.
Series.
You know what I don't like? I don't like when documentaries do several different angles when they're interviewing someone. I think we need to put an end to that. If you think about it, like Housewives and a lot of reality shows do a great job of those in the moment interviews, but it's just up front and in a beautiful lighting. Documentaries, they cannot do. I was in another one where I was like, was I lit from the devil? Like, what is happening here?
I've seen you it's funny, Kate. Yeah, they like to light you in a dark room or something. Shadow.
Demonic. Yes.
I don't know why I think they're trying to paint you as like an investigative reporter,
so bad.
Journalist, but they do. It's so funny you said that in Hollywood. You looked great, but I know what you're saying. They put you in this dark room and then they illuminated you at all different like angles. It was
and I filmed in like a random house in Redondo Beach. Because like people can like rent out their houses for filming. So I was just dropped off at this random house. It was interesting. It was like someone's like family picture on the fireplace. I was like, what is happening here?
That was such a good docuseries though. Oh my God. I love it. I learned so much. Taylor Armstrong. I had forgotten.
I thought that was heartbreaking. And I reached out to interview her and to just baby ghost. No word, crickets.
Even Teresa, I didn't realize that Teresa had lied about being a real estate agent. I really thought that was dope.
That was something.
That was good. You did a great job. I was sucked in with all those.
You know what was a good episode too? The one about celebrity stalkers.
Oh God.
That episode, I was like, za. There were so many celebrities when you hear about what people have done to try to get to them. It kind of actually made me reframe the issue of Harry and Meghan. You know, their fight for security, not reframe it, but like, I don't know, just look at it a little bit maybe differently, because I think as an American, I'm like, oh, come on, pay for your own security. But then when you hear the stories of what really happens with celebrities like Sandra Bullock, for example, where
that one.
She's got somebody like hiding in her house for like half a day and like he was trying to get into her bedroom and she had to go into like some sort of safe room. And then you think, if someone's a lunatic, they are tireless in their effort to get to you. It's terrifying.
Yeah. And he had stalked her for years. And the night he got into her house, that story is wild. Louis, her little boy, her son, she'd actually just for the night, the nanny had happened to say, like, let me take him overnight, like get some rest or whatever. Because she's always said if Louis had been in the house, like she doesn't know what would have happened because I don't think they slept in the same room.
Yep.
So I don't think she would have been able to get Louis and then, lock herself in that safe room or whatever. So, but that guy was, that was awful. Yeah.
Awful.
Yeah. And Sandra Bullock, how many years now has she paid? See, what a great interview. Like how much money has she spent on security?
I know, it really made me rethink of like what celebrities at that level, what they must experience. Okay, another case that has lived rent free in my head, and you lived in DC for a long time, and I bet it's lived in yours too.
Okay.
The Savopoulos murders.
Okay, I don't know if you ever listened to this. Years ago, I launched a podcast department for Fox 5 DC, the local Fox.
You did it? You did that one? I listened to every episode.
The mansion murders?
I listened to every episode.
True crime. I did that. Yes.
Oh my God.
I hosted and produced the first 7 episodes. And then after that, they had me move on. I did political shows for them. I helped them. I helped their news anchors launch their own podcasts. This was that happened in 2015. So it was shortly after that, maybe 2017. Fox could never get it together to figure out how to monetize.
It was excellent. I listened to every single episode because I have been obsessed with that case ever since. What do you think happened?
He did it alone. Darren Went, the guy that murdered them. And I at first, it's funny. I actually regret doing that podcast.
I would think so. It's terrifying.
It was
the
terrifying.
Audio did that just do you in?
No, what did me in is the family really didn't want us to do it.
Oh,
really didn't. What I realized in that moment, like at first I was like, why wouldn't you guys want this case like solved? Like that's so strange to me. And, people have different thoughts on them in general, like why the family was so quiet and wouldn't speak. And they called a lot of their friends because obviously they were predominantly, the Savopoulos family was very wealthy, very well known in DC. They called a lot of their friends and told them not to speak to the press, not just myself, but the press in general. But I felt badly because if Amy Savopoulos, the wife, her parents, such nice people, devastated in court. And we started that podcast truly because, the rumor was that there were more than one person.
Yeah.
His brother helped him.
Well, you don't think that assistant there, that's sketchy.
The assistant moved out here to California, by the way. He lived in Maryland for a long time. He skipped town.
Yeah, I think that's weird.
They never could get enough. They never could find correspondence. They never could find anything to tie the assistant. So halfway through that, I think it became clear to me, like, Darren Went really did this. And I think the downfall was, I really think the family, and you know this, you've studied a lot of crime. I think they thought if they did what he said, that he was really going to let them go. But he was such a fucking psychopath.
Totally.
Like it didn't matter. He stabbed the son, set them all on fire.
Mm-hmm.
And I think what's so heartbreaking about that is how many chances, like how close they came to being rescued. Because if you recall, their housekeeper died with them. The housekeeper's husband that night, she never spent the night away from home, ever. He came to the house and was shooed away by Amy. Amy came down. Oh no, it's fine. Or maybe it was, the husband came down and said, no, she's okay. We're good. Go away. She'll see you in the morning. He knew something was up. There was that. I mean, they had the delivery guy come to the door, deliver pizza. I mean, there were so many. The neighbors across the street, they were best friends with them, and they had been on vacation. And they were like, if we had been in town that night, there is no way we would have known something was wrong, because they were very much like, they came over at night. She was out and about. Like, they would have known something was up. There was just, that story it captivated the world, DC, because, Darren Went was found because of DNA on pizza crust. But he did it, and he wasn't very bright. And, he's just such a cold-blooded murderer, all for $40,000.
All for what?
All for what? All for $40,000. Yeah. And an ex-employee they hadn't seen in years.
Yeah, that one. I don't think that it will ever, I'll never let go of that one. Okay. Housewives are you watching?
All of them except for, I hate to say it, but I can't get into Miami.
You're out of your mind. That's the best one.
Really?
That is actually the best one. I'm going to tell you why. I'm going to change your mind.
Okay, change my mind, because I have not. Okay, change my mind, because I'm so looking forward to RHOC. Tell me.
Oh God, why?
I don't know. I somehow I want to see Gretchen and Slade back. Shannon Bedore, I don't know. She's such a train wreck. I enjoy it.
Okay. Real Housewives of Orange County has had the same show for years and years and years. Their lives don't change. They don't seem very multifaceted. Miami is a cast full of women that have had lives well lived. They all have had marriages and divorces. Most of their kids have already grown up. They have long-standing relationships. Their lives authentically intersect on and off the show. It's a beautiful landscape. They're extremely passionate. And even in the moments when they can't stand each other, they rally for each other. Like when Lisa told them that Lenny had cheated on her and they were going to get a divorce, they were all like, oh, hell no. Crying with her, hugging with her. That to me is the standout show. And I think that the production company makes the most beautiful, they're great cinematographers, like just beautifully shot.
Okay. I'm going to have to, all right. I don't know how, you're the umpteenth person that's told me. And I'm like,
yeah, it's really good.
Okay. I got to get into that. Because RHOA, I was so disappointed in that. I was so looking forward to that. And then I thought that was just such a huge letdown.
Mm-hmm.
We have RHOC coming back. What else? Nothing. Then
Beverly Hills, Rachel Zoe. They're filming now.
Oh, are you excited about her?
No. I mean, I've spoken to her. I've interviewed her. And I think she's so focused on business. I could see why she would do the show, because it would obviously highlight her business more. But she's not a confrontational person. Like, I don't know how a CEO can do really well on a show like this. Like, she's trying to run a corporation here. She's newly divorced. She has 2 kids. That's, I'd love to see that part of her life, but I just don't think she's as bombastic as they would like to have someone. Although I could see why they hired her, because Dorit and Sutton fancy themselves as like real fashionistas, and they're going to feel stupid when they're around her. You know what I mean?
I have Jenna Lyons, PTSD, where I'm like, oh, and Rebecca.
Yeah, but none of them are confrontational.
Correct.
They're like running a company. That's like not in their DNA.
I agree with you.
They're like solution-based people.
Plus, do we really think Rachel, she's not going to trash Roger all these years?
No.
Right. So it's like, we're not going to get we're not going to get the truth of their divorce. We're going to get a little surface.
Yeah.
No. Why do you think they brought her in?
I think to elevate it, to make it look aspirational. I mean, listen, people are going to watch because they want a window into the entertainment industry, and they probably can't get like the wife or the CEO of like a film company, right? So they're going to get people that are kind of ancillary, people who have businesses that work with celebrities. So Rachel Zoe had already been on a TV show, so it's hard to take somebody who has never been on TV. There's like a grace period where, like Sutton Stracke, for example, had never been on television before. So It took a beat for her to kind of get used to it and get her footing. Rachel Zoe, she's already been on TV quite a bit. So I could see why they did it, but I don't know. I just don't know if it's going to work.
So with you.
Yeah. This is my favorite time of the year. Outside activities like hiking, swimming, and sports. I'm going to be spending a lot of time at the beach and the pool, and it's more important than ever to be hydrated. It's peak hydration season, and Liquid IV is the perfect companion for your hottest summer plans. They've just launched an exhilarating new flavor, Arctic Raspberry. Plus, Liquid IV has sugar-free solutions for smart hydration. You can explore the delicious sugar-free options including white peach, lemon lime, rainbow sherbet, and more. Plus, discover more fun flavors like cotton candy or popsicle firecracker. Just one stick and 16 ounces of water hydrates better than water alone. An optimized ratio of electrolytes, essential vitamins, and clinically tested nutrients that turn ordinary water into extraordinary hydration. No matter what your summer brings, tear, pour, live more. Go to liquidiv.com and get 20% off your first order with code KateCasey at checkout. That's 20% off your first order with code KateCasey at liquidiv.com. I'm really excited about my latest sponsor, Shocks. You guys are going to want to hear this. If you're constantly listening to content like me, you might be listening on headphones that have the noise cancellation feature. And that's cool when you're in a crowded place. But when you're going about your day-to-day, noise-canceling headphones can feel like you're in a black hole. It's isolating. Shocks headphones are here to solve that for you. Their innovative open-ear headphones let you stay both present and immersed at the same time. And Shocks is the leader and pioneer in open-ear technology, so the audio quality is incredible. I absolutely love the OpenFit 2 for all-day comfort, whether I'm on a walk, multitasking around the house, taking calls while doing carpools, or jumping into the latest docuseries. Visit shocks.com, that's SHOKZ.com, and use the code KateCasey for $10 off your order. Stay tuned, stay open with Shocks. I want to talk to you about what's going on with your fertility journey, because there are so many women that are listening right now who are with you. And you're so great about just being so honest and open. I think you're going to help a lot of people out.
God, I hope you're right. And I hope that this egg that was put in me yesterday sticks.
Yeah.
I'm taking all of your prayers and good energy and please let it stick. I think like a lot of women, I thought, I'll never have any problems with fertility. And I can remember when I was 34, I started in morning radio. So I worked for iHeartRadio in DC. I was a morning radio host, and they had a fertility clinic that wanted me to endorse them. And they were going to freeze my eggs for free. And they said, let's just look at how many eggs you have. We did a blood test, and they were like, oh my God, you have a ton of eggs. So I thought, I'm not going through all this. Why would I? This is how naive, and I didn't understand it. That I'm not going to freeze my eggs. Are you kidding? You just told me I have 25 eggs or some crazy thing between both ovaries. So a couple years went by. And I also, by the way, never liked children. I never thought I was going to have kids. Never babysat in high school. Never, how you have 5 kids, especially little girls are usually into babies. And never.
I wasn't like that either though.
Really?
No, I never thought I would have kids. The first time I thought I would have kids was September 11th, 2001.
Well, and I can relate to that moment because I met my husband, I turned 35, and it was like a biological clock went off. All of a sudden, every baby I saw, I was like, oh my God, I want to be a mother. So I have had trouble from the beginning. I got pregnant naturally at 36, almost 37. And within 13 weeks, the baby had passed in utero. And I found out I had a partial molar pregnancy, which is when 2 sperm fertilize 1 egg. The baby gets, duplicate chromosomes, can't live. And you can develop a pregnancy cancer from this that requires methotrexate shots, which is a form of chemo. I didn't even know.
Wow.
I didn't even know. That was my first go at being pregnant. I didn't even know that was possible. Went through all that, went through 5 shots of chemo, went to the infusion center. I mean, it was a year to get the clearance to try again. Have our beautiful son, who's now 4. And then basically since I moved to California 3 years ago, I've had a miscarriage every single year since we've moved here. And I don't know. I can't help but be open about it. I think part of it is you're searching for what's worked for other women, answers. one of the things I think, and you know this, you've shared a lot of your personal life. When you do get like unbelievable stories, help, recommendations. And that's what this woman, female community from my podcast and others, when I go on shows like yours, they come together and tell me, they're like, try this, use this doctor. This is what I did. And it was funny. I've never been hung up on, and I know it's challenging for couples. I've never been hung up on how my family was going to happen. Always at 35, I knew I wouldn't have kids. Always been open for adoption. I want to do foster to adopt, but I got to get we got to move into a house. That's like a whole nother thing. But anyhow, always was open to egg donor, surrogacy, carrying my own child. So basically after this, a year ago, like after the third miscarriage, then I went on to even have one more after that. We were just like, let's do egg donor, because every single woman and every couple I've ever spoken to that's done egg donor, their biggest regret is they didn't do it sooner. And you usually don't hear over and over that same endorsement. Like, when you ask people's opinion on anything, a car, you get all kinds of different opinions. But every single couple that used egg donor was like, our biggest regret is we didn't do it earlier.
Wow.
And so we just did. We found an egg bank. We went through a couple different donors. You kind of look around. You have to do a lot of reading about them on the sites, for their genetic background and their own kids and their family histories. And so that it took a while. And we selected a donor and we got 8 eggs. We thawed them these past 2 weeks, and we decided we're not going to do the PGT testing. The statistics of whether PGT that egg sticks higher than a frozen egg is so minuscule. It's like 0.02% or something. So we just thawed, fertilized. They watch it grow. The fastest, not the fastest, but the healthiest growing. They transferred to me yesterday.
Wow.
Transfer part was the easiest part. So,
and do you know the gender?
No clue.
Wow.
No clue.
Now, a friend of mine, as I mentioned to you, is considering the same thing. And I think that they as a couple are kind of grappling with if the baby should have half the DNA, like how will they feel about that long term? Is that something that you could speak to in terms of what they talked to you about and how you came to the decision that it was okay?
Yeah, I think every single couple and every single woman, because there's a lot of women too that want to have a baby and maybe they haven't found the partner they want. I think that is the healthiest thought. Like if you don't have that thought, that's probably a red flag. Like if you're just like, you know what? I don't even care about my DNA. It's like, I think that's such a natural thing. You have to give yourself grace and grieve it. And, I bet your friends have explored everything. They've probably done IVF. It didn't work. Mm-hmm. I got that recommendation 2 years ago. People said to me, try around IVF. You don't want to leave any stone unturned and wonder what if. Did it, failed. The doctor canceled like the day before. I'd done all the drugs. I was down to I think 2 eggs. She's like, it's, I can do this, but the chances that this is going to work are so slim. I was like, I'm done with that. So I think it's natural. I think it's so natural. But I would say that everybody, and you even talk to egg donor kids, that you are the parent. You're the parent. They love you. They don't love you any less. Yeah. With me too, I look at my husband, I love my husband so much. I'm like, he's such a part of me and our son. I'm like, I'm happy that it's his DNA, half of his DNA. I'm so happy about that. So I think it's natural, but I would say if your desire to have a family is still strong in you, do the egg donor. Like I said, no woman, and hopefully in 9 months I can add to that, but there hasn't been one woman that I know that has done egg donor that has ever regretted it once the baby is there. They've had all the same thoughts because you're like, is this child going to resent me? But they're raised in your home, your environment, the whole thing.
Right.
I think it's natural.
Well, if you think about your own families, I, have half siblings and I don't connect with them at all. And I have friends that obviously don't share my DNA and I think of them as siblings.
Right. I mean, I just lost my favorite gunkle, my favorite gunkle of all time. I mean, he's been with me since I was born. So I've known him for 43 years, not biological at all. None. Nothing. Best of friends. Lifelong lessons.
Mhm.
Miss him terribly. And we share no DNA.
Yeah. By the way, my friend here in town did foster to adopt, and now they have 4 kids because they adopted them.
I said that's a moment, I said to my husband, the moment we get the all clear, like, forget it. We're going to have a complete bus, get the minivan. It'll be a whole thing.
Well, I'm here to tell you, big families are fun. And just like you, I never really thought I thought I would just be career. And then it's so true. It hits you. There's a moment where you're like, I can't imagine my life if I'm not a mother in some way. The other thing I would say too is I meet a lot of couples that try and are not able to have kids of their own. And maybe they, for whatever reason, they couldn't adopt. But the truth is, and I can speak to this having come from the wrong side of the door of opportunity, is that there were many adults in my life who were not related to me, who were my friends' parents, who were teachers, and they made an incredible
impact.
They made an incredible impact in my life, even if for them it seemed like nothing. Like my friend Shannon Demas's mom, I would go to her house all the time as a kid, and she taught me the importance of looking glamorous. Like she would show us how to put makeup on and like why a high heel makes you look better in dresses, and just showing me like if you feel good about yourself and present yourself in such a way, people will feel it and be happy around you. And that made a huge difference to me. And she had cancer. She survived it. But I remember I wrote her a letter and said, how much that had meant to me as a kid. And she was like, so surprised. Like to her, it was so insignificant, but I guess that's just proof of you never really know what you can do for a child. So, if you have somebody on your street and you can tell they're lonely, like invite them over, bake with them, read books with them, ask them questions, point out things like, you're a really good writer, or you're a great athlete, or you've got a great sense of humor. So if you are unable to be a mother in the way that you had always hoped to, there are also countless opportunities to do things that are very maternal and paternal for children.
Look, I was using my example of my uncle, but I had growing up, my mom is from an Irish Catholic family. So
God bless. Love it.
You know the deal. So part Irish here, 1 of 10. 2 of her brothers were gay. They had husbands. I mean, they didn't officially get married till years later, but they were together for years, 30, 40 years. Those uncles shaped my life so much. And none of them wanted kids, but they loved and enjoyed us so much as we got older. And they're the reason my brother and my uncles, they wrote my brother's, he was kind of going through a hard time in high school. They wrote and helped write his college essays to get him in.
God, nice.
Yeah, they really, so they were so impactful in our life. You're absolutely right. You do not have to have your own child to have a huge impact. Without my uncles, I would have had a completely different life.
The name of the uncle that just recently passed away, what was his name?
George.
Okay, so we're going to ask George to put a loving white light around your stomach right now. And we are all going to do that in our heads as we're listening right now. We are going to send you such great vibes and put loving white light around you.
Oh my God.
You got it.
I'm feeling it. He was like living for my baby journey. He was baby watch. So
George is a good name.
George is a good name. Oh my God. And George was legendary. Legendary.
Oh, I love it.
Oh my God, Kate, we could do a whole podcast on him. He was a trip. He died at the Metropolitan Museum of Opera.
That's right.
Died there. The last couple of years of his life, he decided that he was going to go, you've been with my uncle for like almost 40 years. He joined a gay leather fraternity, traveled the country in leather.
Well, tell everybody where they can listen to your podcast and where they can follow you, because they are going to want to keep up with this journey.
Kate, it's the Sarah Fraser Show. I do a daily pop culture podcast. You can find it everywhere you get your pods. And I am probably known for my Sister Wives TLC. I do love their stuff. Welcome to Plathville will be back, which is another show that's like watching paint dry, but yet It's a train wreck. It's so good.
But you also cover Blake Lively a lot too.
I am very fascinated by that case.
Yeah.
That case I cover a lot. And I do like Bravo stuff. I usually do a couple days a week. I like the Bravo.
Mm-hmm.
Are you going to BravoCon, by the way?
No, probably not.
Okay. Good. Then I'm not going either.
Okay,
Great.
good.
You saved me a bunch of money. No, I don't.
Yeah, I did.
Would go if amazing people like you are going.
Well, we could do something else in LA.
Sounds good to me.
Yeah. Maybe we'll go for happy hour. People can join us if they're in the LA area if you don't want to go to BravoCon.
We got to team up. Kate, I love you. I respect you so much.
Love you.
I can't wait to have you on again, and we'll talk soon. Thank you for this opportunity.
The amazing Kate Casey.
I want to thank my fantastic guest and again remind you to click subscribe, leave a 5-star review, join that Facebook group, Reality Life with Kate Casey. You can get bonus episodes on Apple Podcasts and on Patreon. And make sure you follow me on social media. I'm on Instagram at KCCA, TikTok, it's Kate Casey, Twitter, Threads, and Blue Sky at Kate Casey. Make sure you check back tomorrow for an all-new episode with Krista Rosa where we talk about the Dallas Cowboy cheerleaders on Netflix.
Not sure if you have the experience to start your dream job? Good news. These days, it's the skills that count. Udemy can help you get those in-demand skills. Want to be an AI mastermind? Learn with us. Game developer? We've got you covered. AWS certified cloud practitioner? We can help you prep. You'll learn from real-world experts who love what they do so that you can love what you do. Go to udemy.com for the skills to get you started and get set for your dream job.